Back to the restrictions then. Earlier, our guest Professor Fenton pointed to younger people out socialising as being one of the key drivers of the spread of coronavirus in the capital. And tonight is possibly the last time many will be able to go out in town with friends. When the 10 p.m. curfew was introduced, parts of central London around Oxford Street and Soho were packed as people all left bars and restaurants at the same time, something they want to stop happening again. Well, Sangita Lal is in Soho for us this evening. Sangita, what's the mood like there tonight?
Well, it's almost 6:30 in the centre of Soho, and even though there is a bit of a buzz, if we were here this time last year, it would have been a very different story. The streets would be rammed, so too would the bars, and there would be no mention of the word coronavirus. Remember when that was a thing? Well, it's a very different story tonight, and it's about to change once again, because in a few hours' time, Tier 2 restrictions will come into force across the city. And as you've been hearing tonight in the programme, crucially for the hospitality sector, that means that no one can mix with any other households indoors. Now, whilst it is known that those restrictions are needed to get control of the spread of the virus, businesses here are concerned about what that could mean to the local economy. I'm joined by Gary, who's the owner of Bar just behind us. Gary, what's your biggest concern about what the restrictions could mean for you now?
Well, I mean, first of all, we had a major impact from the 10 p.m. curfew. So now this change in tier, going up to Tier 2, is a real concern for us.
And has the pedestrianisation of parts of Soho helped you? Because obviously that increases the capacity you can have for customers outside.
The pedestrianisation has actually been a lifesaver, and it came right at the right time in summer, so we have people out. You can see even now people are sitting out. So pedestrianisation is a good thing, keeps people outside of the business.
I mean, there is a bit of a buzz about the place, isn't there? But this isn't the Soho we all know and love, of people arriving to meet others, to socialise. How does it feel for you to be managing a bar in this current situation?
Well, I think Soho has kept its vibrancy, and the West End has kept its vibrancy, particularly with the alfresco helped eating out thing. So, yeah, you know, it's all is looking good, apart from we're worried about the next stage we're coming to, and we're nervous about tomorrow.
And I know you mentioned earlier that you are concerned a little bit about potentially people taking advantage of a last hurrah, a final chance to meet their friends in your bar.
Well, that's a big worry, as we hate throwing all our customers out on the street at 10 p.m. There is a slight concern that tonight, because it's the end of a sort of the easier tier, that there may be a little bit of a party. Nobody wants that. We want customers in our bar regulated.
And just finally, you know, there's been some criticism about how this could be enforced. If you see a group of people coming in and you're a bit sceptical of whether they are part of the same household, would you genuinely turn a group of customers away?
I think the reality is we will ask people, are you part of the same household or social bubble? If they say yes, and there's less than 6 of them, they can come into the venue. If they say no, outside onto the terrace.
Thank you very much for your time tonight, Gary. Well, a few hours until the new restrictions come into force, there is still some concern here about how that will be policed across the city.
Sangita and your guest, thank you very much.